All right, looks like I am live. I am live, live, live. Second live of the day. What's up, guys? My second live of the day. I'm just sharing this out to different groups, to my insider trading group, Ninja Trading, stock market for day traders. All right, all right, all right. If you could share this out, I would appreciate it. So, this is the second live of the night. So, if you didn't know, I am doing a couple of challenges. I see that a lot of people have been challenged this year in the market and last year and, ever since COVID. So, investing and trading has been um, profitable for my family, and we've 80 to 90% of the time have been going in the right direction. So I decided, I was going to do some free education. So I have switched over to the TikTok platform. And with the TikTok platform, I am monetizing. I am monetizing that platform, and I'm doing a whole bunch of lives. So the free lives that I'm doing on TikTok, we're in the middle of one now, which is a 30-day challenge for beginners. And with that challenge for beginners, I'm teaching beginners how to come into the market. Like if you've never bought a stock ever in your life, you don't know what it's about. It's actually a good thing because what I'm introducing is the fundamentals of the market so that you don't go down the YouTube rabbit hole and learn all of this advanced stuff that really doesn't help you, in my opinion, become a really, really good investor or trader. So what I'm doing is I'm reintroducing, I'm bringing fundamentals back. I'm bringing fundamentals back, right? Like Justin Timberlake did. We're bringing sexy back. I'm bringing fundamentals back, and we're learning the stock market all over again. And I'm going through this same mindset too. I call it the millionaire mindset. And in order to get into that millionaire mindset, sometimes you have to break yourself down and start from the beginning. And by starting from the beginning, I mean to the point where you're actually asking yourself, what is a stock? Because most of the time when we start buying stocks, we a lot of the time, especially in my consultations, when I ask a simple question, which is what is your goal? Okay, you're buying this stock. What is your goal? And the goal can't be to make money, right? That's the 100% goal for all of us. But what is the actual goal? Is this a trade? Is this an investment? Are you looking to make 10% on this, 20%, 100%? Are you looking to double this? And how much time are you expecting this to happen? Why are you buying this? Do you have equity? Like these are very, very easy fundamental questions that most of you can't answer. And my job is to try to make you talk about the market in the way that, you know, the millionaire mindset, the millionaires and the billionaires that are investing, the money managers, the pension fund, the pension funds and the mutual funds, how are they thinking when they approach this market? And I'm trying to get you guys to think the same way, especially when these pension funds or mutual funds are buying, millions and millions and sometimes billions of dollars of these companies. What is their mindset behind it? You know, because we get in and out of stuff all the time, right? We think everything is a trade, but where you gain your wealth is going to be from investing. Trading is great, and I was talking about that in my last live. So the first 30 days I'm taking you guys from beginner to advanced traders. So if you don't have a TikTok platform, get one. All right, because you guys are missing out on a movement that's happening on TikTok at this particular time, and I'm leading it. And the first 30 days, every single day, I made a commitment that every single day for free, I was going to come on for an hour and tell you guys any and everything that I know. That's the first 30 days. The second 30 days, I'm going to show you guys how to buy I'm going to explain options, futures, cryptocurrency, trading. I'm going to take you from intermediate to advanced. Even if you're already advanced, wouldn't you want to know the methods to my madness, right? I'm going to teach it to you for free. All you have to do is get a TikTok account and follow me in this. You don't have to do all 60 days, but drop in every now and then because you're going to see me a lot there. The reason why I'm doing it is now that TikTok is going to be here to stay and it's not going to get banned by America, at least from what I see. Anything can happen with this presidency. You're seeing a a gold rush over to this particular platform, including myself. And if you don't know what's happening over there, presenters like me are getting paid immediately to do these particular lives. Like within 7 days, you might get a check, right? Um, I was on TikTok for less than 7 days and received my first check from doing work on that particular platform. I've been on all the other platforms for years and never got a cent. So I love it, and my aunt's helping me monetize it. So if you want to know what my handle is, my handle over at TikTok is what would Joel do? All right, so it doesn't change no matter where I go. My brand is the same. Whether you're on YouTube, what would Joel do? Facebook, what would Joel do? TikTok, what would Joel do? I had a what would Joe do page on Instagram, and do you guys know I got hacked probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and I just recently was able to get the login codes for it, which is wild because it was a fluke on how I was even able to get those codes. So I had to create another account, which was called Joel the Ninja Trader. And with that Joel the Ninja Trader, hold on. With Joel the Ninja Trader, that's where most people can find me on Instagram. So it's Joel the Ninja Trader on Instagram, and then it's what would Joel do everywhere else. So people that come on and they're like, Joel, I can't find you. Well, you didn't really try that hard. You know my brand is what would Joel do. Type in what would Joel do. All right. I'm gonna pop up. All right. I know you were like, but I found somebody and they only had like 1,000 followers. I know I'm new on the platform. All right. I've been on there for a minute, but I've only been on there for about 20 days. And for the last 20 or 30 days, I've gone from like 50 followers all the way to, I don't know, I think almost 2,000. All right. So I'm growing on there. And they're showing me a lot of love on that particular platform. So if you don't have one, get one. If you're a presenter and you're trying to monetize the platform, I'm teaching people how to do that as well. I'm also looking for other soldiers, other people that want to be in our support group that's helping each other grow and monetize the platform. I'm looking for individuals that want to be part of the team. It's so much going on TikTok. They got battling going on, they got presenting, they're teaching you how to push your stuff out. Guys, not only is it helping me learn algorithms, but when I'm using the same algorithm and I go on Instagram or Facebook, my followers, not followers, my views are going up because now I'm actually learning the correct hashtags. I'm learning the correct items to put in my post so that I can get engagement. I'm now understanding what engagement actually means, where, commenting and all of this stuff really, really matters when you're putting out your stuff. So, although I've been on there for 20 or 30 days, I feel like just like I'm bringing you guys back to the fundamentals, TikTok is actually teaching me the fundamentals on how to run my business on social media. So, you guys can be part of the team or not. Y'all know that usually when I go after or I go to something, there's a reason for it. If I'm buying this stock, you probably want to say if Joel is buying it, he sees some type of value in it, right? I mean, he's not wrong that often, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but he shows his receipts. He's full transparency on a lot of things that he's doing, so there must be something there. And there is. It's a whole movement that's happening that a lot of you guys don't know about. All right, so there are a bunch of freebies that we're going to use during this live. That's my TikTok um, presentation. So there are a lot of freebies on this that I've always taught you guys, and that's Yahoo Finance. I was talking about Yahoo Finance when I was on TikTok earlier. So I go live every day at 6 o'clock p.m. So if you don't know what time I go live, it's 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TikTok for the next 90 days. You're gonna see me come in and out of the insider trading room, but you're gonna see me doing a lot of my live. I might even just pop up. I'm even thinking about probably opening up a trading room where during the day at like 8 to 10 o'clock, just like Discord, you guys will be able to go on TikTok. I'll have the room open and we can sit there and talk to each other, come up on panels, interact with each other. Y'all been asking me to do this for years. I'm finally doing it. All right, where you guys can interact with each other while we're trading on that particular platform. It's about to be so much fun on TikTok. It's not about dancing, guys, and doing a jig and whatever. It's nothing like you think it is. It's really where all the small business owners are flocking to. All right. But some of the freebies are going to be this Yahoo Finance. Anytime we're analyzing anything, we just did a Mission Impossible. We just did Mission Impossible on TikTok where we were analyzing a stock in 1 minute. So if you're a beginner and you haven't figured out how to analyze a stock in 45 or 50 seconds, I just taught everybody how to do it for free on TikTok. If you haven't got my chat GPT yet, I built this chat GPT on top of I'm sorry, I built Ask Joel GPT on top of Chat GPT. So to find it, you guys go to Explore GPTs. All right, if you already have a Chat GPT, you go there, you go to Explore GPTs, you pull mine up. Now, what makes mine different from everybody else's? Use it. The minute you use it, the very first time you put a stock in it, you're going to see exactly why it's so much different than every other GPT that's on there. You can ask your Chat GPT anything, right? But if you've been on there long enough, you're learning that your own GPT every now and then will send you an answer 3 ways and it'll say which answer best describe, how would you like us to answer this type of question? Would you like it to be answered like this A or this B or this C? So it's trying to learn you. Well, I've already put in Ask Joe GPT how to answer different stock questions where, hey, are you a trader or an investor? How long is this particular thing? The same questions that I see that you guys can't answer when you first start looking up a stock, my GPT is going to help you through the process. All right, so try it out. Again, if you want to go to my app, and this session is going to be kind of quick today, guys. I'm trying to get everything done by 7:30 so I can answer any and every question that I can by 8:30. All right, so I can get out of here and spend some quality time with the wife. Not that that's a burden. It's just that that's what we do. That's how I end my days, and I don't want to miss out on that. All right, but if you're on my app, I just put out on my app today what I was buying. I bought a whole bunch of stocks today. My subscribers on my app, they all got first dibs on what I was buying when I was buying it. Okay. And, I haven't really been buying anything lately, guys, because everything was at all time highs. Why would I buy something at all time highs when y'all know I buy things on sale with equity? All right. Again, if you're not, there's a couple of places you guys can find the lives. If you missed this live, if you know somebody else that missed the live, they can always go to YouTube, go to the live tab, and you're going to see all of my live tabs from the past year. You can go back and say, Joel, I always tell people to go back and watch stuff that I did 3 or 4 months ago when I was predicting certain things that's going to happen, or I was telling people this is the bottom of the market. This is why they've labeled me the guru, right? Because I am not afraid to make, you know, I'm not afraid to give my opinion on something, right? Again, insider trading is the biggest group that I have right now, and that's on Facebook. You go to Facebook, and this is being broadcasted over a lot of different social media platforms. A lot of you guys are watching it in the insider trading room. But if not, if you're on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Instagram, then and you haven't become part of this community, this is one of the first communities that was ever built for groups on Facebook. Literally, groups came out, and this room was created within like 7 days when groups was even available on Facebook. That's how old it is. You're going to see some beautiful charts, some of the most beautiful charts that you've ever seen anybody use live. I'm using the Charles Schwab account. I'm not getting paid by telling you guys to go there. I'm just transparent on everything I do. This is what I'm using. Open up an account. You'll get access to those tools as well. And if you want your tools to look like mine, or if you want to use some of the same indicators that I'm using, you don't have to have it look like mine, but if you want to use some of the same indicators that I'm using, and you're having problems with setting it up on your chart, you can always go to my PayHip. A lot of you guys don't notice my PayHip up top is where you guys can go and pretty much learn anything about the market and not pay $15,000-$20,000 for classes. I did that on purpose. I literally went on Chat GPT and was like, guys, I said, look, I have classes that, how much should I charge an individual for a 2-hour class that's a video session on learning how to, trade options, or learning how to buy a stock, or learning the futures market or the crypto market. And the pricing that they gave me, that's how I came up with the pricing. So if Chat GPT is telling me that I'm priced exactly right, then anything that's more than this, or more time, you guys need to start asking yourself, am I overpaying for this course, for the amount of money that I'm paying? Now, there are courses out there that last a couple of months long. These are mini classes. All right. Don't get this mixed up with actual classes. There are some classes that people have that last 3-4 months, a whole quarter. I get it. It's like paying for a class if you're in college, and you pay for that class for that session. I get that. All right. But these 1 hour, 2 hour video courses that you guys are taking, and you're still paying 7,000, 10,000, you are getting bamboozled. All right. So that's why I'm here. I did it in the beginning, and I'm trying to make sure that you guys don't make the same mistakes. But back to the beginning, because I didn't do it. My name is Joel Harrison. I'm a full-time day trader. I'm an expert in stocks, options, futures, and cryptocurrency. I have over 15 years, over 30,000 hours of trading and investing experience. And anything that we talk about today are the opinions of Joel Harrison. Now, this is the format of Ask the Trader. The format for Ask the Trader is you put your question in the comment section, no matter what platform you're looking at. You can just go to the comment section and literally put in a stock. Preferably, I want that stock to be $1 billion or higher in market cap. And if if it's a trade or an investment, that's going to give me a better idea of how to analyze that particular stock. If you say, hey, I want to look at Apple, I was day trading Apple today. Can you show me with your day trading tools how you would have traded it today? And then then the investor in me is not going to pull up a day chart and try to, or a week chart and try to look at Apple. So put the questions in the comment section, and I'm going to try to get to everybody's questions in the next hour. Okay. If not, I'm just going to ramble and ramble and, and ramble on. All right. Which is funny because my wife already in the comment section is like, this is my first time on the YouTube live. All right. So before we even get to the questions, let's get to, and I see a lot of you guys are just watching. Put in the comments. I know y'all want me to analyze your stock. I'm not going to bite your head off. But let's bring this down. Let's go to the charts. All right. So let's look at the S&P 500. This chart's going to look different from what I was doing on TikTok. Now, I do hate that on TikTok. On TikTok, I hate the fact that I'm not able to pull up my charts. I actually have to print the charts, overlay them, and then pull up the charts as I'm teaching, which is fine, right? So S&P, this is the economy. This is going to be a little bit more advanced. So for any beginners that strolled on over here from TikTok, you guys are going to hear me talk a different language. I'm going to talk as if you already understand all of this. So hopefully I don't discourage you from watching, but I want you guys to, now this was in, that's kind of funny because that was in the TikTok where you have to grab your heart. But this is the S&P 500. This is representing the economy, right? So right now, the all-time highs happened about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Guys, 11 days ago, the S&P 500 was the highest that has ever been in history. Y'all hear what I just said? The highest it's ever been in the history of mankind. And that should make you feel some type of way. You should actually be angry and have sour grapes, of the market. If the market hit all-time highs, and this is supposed to represent the economy, and your portfolio wasn't the highest that it's ever been 14 days ago. Your portfolio should have been the largest it's ever been 14 days ago, ever. If not, you got to go back and look at your portfolio and figure out where you're going wrong. A lot of the times it's you're overcomplicating things. See, this represents the 500 largest companies on the planet. That means if I had an equal amount of money and I bought the 500 largest companies and those stocks on average hit the highest price that has ever been in history, your portfolio, in my opinion, should at least be going up at the same rate or higher. If you're underperforming the market, you better be 85 or 90 years old and you don't want to lose any money. If you're young like me, and young guys is 40, 50, 60s or less, you should be conservative and aggressive at the same time. And you need to really start asking yourself, is it my ego that's stopping me from making money? Is it these thousandaires that are telling me what to buy and what not to buy? Is it my money manager that's just being too conservative because they know if they even lose a penny that I would fire them? Because a lot of the times they'll do that, guys. They'll put you in the most conservative thing ever because of your personality. I'm hiring you, and if I lose even a penny, I'm going to fire you. Okay, well, then I'm just going to put you in this CD over here that's paying out 3.5% a year. You ain't going to fire me, but you ain't going to make that much money in the market. And you guys are fine with that 3.5%. When you got companies like Apple going up 40 or 50, 20% on average a year. And then you're asking yourself, why is it so hard to make money in the market? Apple's been around forever. You've known that it's been the largest company in the world, but you won't invest in it. And then you want to say the stock market's a casino. No, you just been gambling. Joel, you just gambling. You should let a money manager run your portfolio. Well, is that money manager getting you 40% year over year? Because that's what my portfolio is looking like. Have you beat the S&P 500 for the past 10 years in a row? Not my money manager. The S&P is the gauge. This is where this is the average. If you can't beat the average and you're underperforming the average and you actually want to make money, you need to look in the mirror and say, what am I doing wrong and who do I need to talk to? And it's a very simple question. When you guys go and talk to your money manager, all you have to say is my portfolio outperforming the S&P 500? When you say that, your money manager they're gonna get pale in the face because they're gonna say, oh my God, they actually know what they're talking about. I had no idea. And listen to the response that they make. Why is my portfolio not at least on par with the S&P 500? I learned for free from this crazy dude that the S&P 500 is the bar. It's the average. It's the benchmark. So why is my portfolio? I just looked up the S&P. It's up 12%. That means my portfolio needs to at least be 12% or higher. That's what I hired you for. Why is it not 12%? What are you doing? What am I invested in? I relied on you to make me rich. What the heck are you doing wrong? Please tell me. Because if not, you could have just bought the S&P 500. What do I need you for when I could just put all of my money in the S&P 500? you're going to be surprised at the answers that you get. Because all you got to do is stick to the S&P. Just stick to the script. S&P, 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 S&P. Why, why, why? Why is it not where the S&P is? Why? Just explain to me why. Why is it not on par with the average? Why am I underperforming the market? Why is the market at all-time highs and my portfolio ain't? These are questions y'all need to ask yourself or ask the person that's managing your funds. Or if you're the money manager, why? Why is it not up 15% on average? Okay. Because these are the conversations we're not having. We're not going back to the fundamentals anymore. Y'all are all over the place in the insider trading room, all over the place with what you're buying, how you're trading, how you're investing. I'm bringing back the fundamentals and the basics. And it's going to make a lot of you guys feel uncomfortable, but that's my job, to make you feel uncomfortable, because the end goal is to make money and to outperform the S&P 500, period. Especially if that's your goal. If you're retired and you want to hold on to your money, I get it. Be in dividend stocks. You worked your whole life to have those funds. I get it. But for those that are trying to accumulate wealth, have not gotten there yet, you need to be conservative and aggressive at the same time. But you guys are not asking the right questions. And you refuse to learn charts, and you refuse to look at the fundamentals. Okay? So I'm bringing it back for free. Okay? And anything that we talk about are the opinions of Joel, all right? Make sure you guys do your due diligence, all right? So this is the S&P 500. So I'm going to keep talking. Uh-oh. It looks like my stream on Facebook might have stopped. So it might just be YouTube. So I apologize if it is. Let me check real quick. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Now, it still looks like it's live on my main page. And it looks like if you are following me, and it looks like it's live in the Insider Trading Room, and it looks like it's live on the What Would Joe Do page. I haven't done this in a minute, so I wanted to make sure that I am doing okay. I think it may have stopped on the What Would Joe Do page, so that's fine. All right, so let me get to you guys' questions. Hold on. Here we go. My wife said, "This is my first time on YouTube." My wife works really hard as a physician. Well, welcome. This is what I be doing all day long. Sebastian said, "What do you think about UNH and Tesla as a long-term investment? And do you see this year's Christmas rally being out of the picture?" All right, Sebastian Blandon. Let's pull up UNH. I just bought UNH as well. So I'm guys, full transparency. Joel owns UNH. Now, I know. So y'all know this is a rule that I have. The rule is, when the 200-day is angled down, you don't want to be around. I get it. When the 200-day is angled down, you don't want to be around. Now, when I bought this particular stock, and I'm going to pull you back up later. When I bought this particular stock, I bought it strictly off of a catalyst. But I told myself, because the 200-day moving average is angled down, and if we look at a week chart, you also see the week chart where the yellow line is angled down. This is actually a recipe for disaster, guys. When you see a week chart where the 200-week moving average is angled down, and you see the 200-day moving average angled down, that's a recipe for disaster. So what I'm doing is I have a stop loss set right here at $234. So I am in UNH right now. Now, if UNH drops from $330, where we are right now, all the way down to $230, and I believe I got in, I can't remember where I got in, and I think I got in at a lower price. All right. If this happens, because I am up in this particular stock. If it drops from where it is right now, if it drops from 330 all the way down to this 234 area, I'm going to just take this little pencil that I have, and I'm just going to go here. And as oops, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go down here. That means, can I stomach a 30% drop? Now, here's what's wild, guys. I haven't even given myself a full position in this stock yet. So a 29% drop, if I only have a quarter position in, is really only about, a 7 or 8% drop, right? Because I put my toes in the water, expecting it to drop in price. Because I said, look, if I'm going to buy something long term, I'm not going to go all in at first. If the 200-day and the 200-week is angled down, I'm only going to go with a quarter position. That means if I wanted to put 20,000 in, or let's just say 10, I'm going to go at 2,500 first, just to see what happens. If it drops in price, and it's not even in, like, if it drops in price, guys, I don't say I'm going to buy it when it drops exactly 4.37% at this support area after it rolls up and it went above this particular candle. I don't do that. I'm just like, look, I already bought it at a higher price, so anything underneath that is gold, in my opinion, for the future, if I believe it's going to go back to 600 or 700. So sometimes I'll wait 2 or 3 days. This is where I don't really get, super duper, picky. I already put in my 25%. Maybe on a big down day like today, I'll buy some more, which I didn't. But I don't even have a full position in it. But I don't care what happens. If we get to 234, I'm selling everything I got. And then I'm going to lick my wounds, and then I'm going to take those funds and put it into something else. I already expect it to go down. If for some reason it just starts to shoot up in price, that's a good thing. All right, well, I just got more money over here that I can put into something else, maybe a Eli Lilly, maybe something else that's in that particular field. And that's always a great position to be in, okay? So that's how I would approach what we call a bearish stock. It is a bearish stock right now, so you have to expect that it's going to fall. So you got to position yourself with your strategy for the fall. If you haven't done those types of calculations, that's where you're going wrong in the market, guys. You can't be 100% right all the time. It's not going to happen. I'm like, I put myself against all the traders and investors out there. And I'm wrong. I'm not wrong a lot, but every now and then I get it wrong. I got it wrong with AMD. Guys, if I hadn't been in AMD, I really would have been talking crazy about how I'm outperforming the market. That's the only reason why it's at 40%. All right. Because I lost a lot in AMD. And now AMD is at what? Near its all-time highs. I got out of it 1 month late. I was 1 month away from probably having one of the biggest returns in my portfolio. It happens to the best of us, but because I'm conservative and aggressive at the same time, I'm still winning, right? I'm just not winning as much as I could. And I want you guys to position yourself the same way, all right? What was the second part of that question? So you said, what do you think about UNH and Tesla as long-term investments? I'm in it, so I actually believe in UNH. UNH is like one of the best, insurance companies that's out there. If you don't know what UNH is the company where the CEO was murdered in broad daylight. And ever since then, the stock has been in trouble. It's been in a bear market. And then there was news out that there was some inconsistencies in their report, their financial reports. So they had double negative news, right? And that's why the stock is having a hard time recovering. But the company is still a solid company, in my opinion. You just might have to wait a little while longer than you expect because the charts are telling you that. The charts are saying Wall Street is not ready to move this company back to its all-time highs yet. And believe me, guys, when it starts to turn around, it's not going to happen in one day. Y'all swear you going to turn around one day and the stock just going to be up, you know, 50% or 60%, you know, or 100% and get back to its all-time highs. You'll see the push when it happens. And when the push happens, guys, let's say all of a sudden it gets good news and it pops like this. Y'all are going to buy it up here. But because you don't look at charts, y'all are going to buy it up here. Joel already knows how charts work. Charts stair step up. So even if it does this, and this is the time that it's going to move, it's going to come back halfway, retest the 200 before it goes to new highs, because that's just how stocks operate. They go up in a stair stepping manner. They do not go in a straight line like all of y'all think they do. It's rare that you see a stock just go up in a straight line and you just missed out on it, unless it's like maybe a meme stock. But companies this big, they're gonna stair step up. They're gonna give you a chance to get back in. Joel will be in somewhere right around here. I know you were never taught to buy it midway because you don't actually talk to actual traders and investors that's been profitable for over a decade. This is how the top 1 and 5% invest in the market. We actually get in, we dollar cost average as this bad boy is going up. Yeah, it's good the dollar cost average when it goes down, but the best investors out there, they're buying it as it goes up. Because once the company starts moving and the 200-day and the 200-week is up, charts, guys, are the result of data, not the data. Like most people think the charts turn the stock around, and that's not true. It's the result. When money flows into this and the 200-day is angled up, that's telling you that the average price of that stock for the last 200 days is now starting to go higher and higher and higher, which means money is flowing into it. And you can't think of the market like you and me. Me and you, we get into the market in and out, you know, every day. The people, the trillion-dollar companies and the billion-dollar companies that actually make these stocks move, they buy things over a quarter. It might take a week or two for them to get their full position in a stock. Whereas we get in it in one day, 1 minute, 1 second. They don't operate like we do. And you guys are spending too much time listening to thousandaires and how we move money and not looking at how the billionaires approach the market. That's why it's so important that you guys learn the charts, because if the charts are telling you that it's bearish, it's probably going to be in a bearish period for a minute. And I don't even use ego. It's just what the charts is telling you. The charts is saying after millions of dollars of research from these other companies that have researched this, because they all want UNH to go up too. Okay, you're not gonna turn the stock around because you went and searched 5 or 6 charts and found a secret sauce that nobody else knew about, where the market's gonna turn around on that particular stock. Anything can happen. They could have a conversation at lunch with another company, and then that company decides that they want to invest in the company off of a lunch meeting that they weren't even gonna have. And then their company starts to buy the company. You start seeing it in the charts. You start seeing the averages go up. And now you can invest in that company, right? But y'all swear y'all the ones that's going to make the stock turn around from something that you've seen. And I'm like, guys, it doesn't work like that. That's why you're having a hard time in the market. You're not in those rooms that's making these stocks turn around in price, okay? You got to put your ego to the side. You guys got to start looking at the market. Now, the third part to your question, which is the Christmas rally. If you don't know what the Christmas rally is, it's a rally. And there's so many definitions of when it starts and when it doesn't. I mean, when it starts and when it ends. Joel Harrison, using the what would Joel do method, Joel has his own definition of the Christmas rally. The Christmas rally, in my opinion, usually starts after Thanksgiving. So if we were to go back and look at the SPY, and we were to look at a week chart, and we were to go back and look at maybe last Christmas, right? So this was, let's look at 2024. This is where we are right now. We're way up here in the stratosphere in November. If we were to go back to last year, which was October the 24th, oh, it looked like we had oh, that was in March. This was October of last year, August, September, October. This was right around Thanksgiving. So right around Thanksgiving, even last year, the S&P 500 already started to go up in price. And these are weeks, guys. So December came, Christmas rally was kind of a dud. It went down in price. And then as soon as January started, all the way to April, the market started to go up in price. Well, that's February. Wait, this is 2020 March. Oh, that's because of the tariff stuff. I thought the tariff stuff happened in April, but it obviously happened. It did happen in April. Market started to turn around in February. So, January, the market started to go up, and we're looking at a week chart where these literally represent weeks. And then the market started to go down right after about February, March into April. My definition of the Christmas rally is that the rally usually happens right after Thanksgiving, and it usually extends all the way out to April. Now, why have why was this pattern happening? In my opinion, from what I've seen and how Wall Street talks about it, is they say this: anytime you have a up year in the market, right around October and November, these big hedge funds and pension funds, if they've had a huge profit for the year, they start to sell some of their profits in October, November. Why is this? Because they know at the beginning of the year, when people have their New Year's resolutions and everybody's changing over their portfolios, they want to make sure that their pension fund or mutual fund was profitable for the year. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, everybody makes money. Then in October, before that last quarter, they start to sell off their profits so that they can reinvest those funds maybe sometime in January or a little bit after April. Now, companies like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google are the largest companies on the planet. Apple usually goes in the black, meaning they become very, very profitable around Christmas time because they're selling iPhones, right? Amazon usually makes a whole bunch of money from all the packages and stuff that they're delivering to different individuals. So a lot of these retail companies, a lot of companies at Christmas, they make a whole bunch of money, but nobody knows how much money they make until their earnings period, which is the following year. So usually if earnings are broken up in four pieces. So at the end of December, nobody knows how much they made, but they might not give their earnings report until February or March. Now, the insiders will know just by going to the different stores or how many iPhones are going off flying off the shelf, if they're going to be really profitable or not. So then they're playing that news so that when that news comes out in February or March, the stock usually gets a nice little pop, and then everybody sells before April. So that Christmas rally usually lasts all the way through the first quarter. And then the stock market usually takes a break in like April, May. And then you have what we call the June swoon, where the market just takes a break and it's the summertime. And then it starts to sell off again. Remember, in August, September, October, because it's towards the end of the year. And then it's rinse and repeat every year. Now, it's not always that cycle all the time. But if you go back 100 years and you look at the statistics for each month that was the most profitable, because every year can be an off year. This could be the year that is off. You know what I'm saying? But if you go back and you look at the statistics behind which months are the most profitable months in the stock market, they are going to be around that particular period, around the Christmas rally and that first quarter of the year. September, October, and half of November is usually the worst percentage, as far as the market going up. That's where you're going to see the worst percentages, right? So we expected the market to sell off in September, October. Not only did we expect it, we started talking about it in the room. Guys, get ready for these sell offs. That's probably going to happen in September, October, and part of November, no matter what your charts are looking at, because statistically, fundamentally, that's when the market has its lowest percentages as far as their profitability for the months. If you don't believe me, go back and check on your chat GPT. That's what it's there for. All right. So do I think I always think that the Christmas rally is going to happen, especially when you have a market where the consumer is still buying things. As long as flights are going to be now, I get the government shutdown happened. So that might have thrown a twist in what's happening in the market. And then when you look at this chart, guys, look, the market, I know I say it never goes up in a straight line, but the market literally went up in a straight line from April until now. So, I mean, if you're really trying to make money now, like you really missed the bandwagon. Like, how can you not make money on this move? This is where the market was when Trump took office. This is where the market went to. Hold on, let me take that away. This is where the market was when Trump took office. When he started talking about the tariffs, the market dropped. And then the market went higher than where it was when he took office. And then the market just exploded up in price. And we way up here in the stratosphere. And literally 2 weeks ago, we hit the highest point that we've ever hit in history. So could the Christmas rally not happen? Of course. Because look at all the money that was made. Like if you didn't make money in this market from April till now, you need to holler at a brother in a consultation. Because you are being too you're being too much of a black sheep or a what's the word I'm looking for? The when you're thinking the opposite, a contrarian. You're being too contrarian to the market. Okay. All right. Let's get to some other questions. Oh, Stephen Hunter said, thank you for tonight's session. My wife, we already talked about UNH as an investment. All right. Crystal said, let's look at him. So, him, let me take a drink real quick. So, hims and hers, very popular. These are very speculative. This is a very speculative stock. So, let's look at the chart. So, if you're looking at the chart of hims, just a investment view, the 200-week moving average is still angled up. So anytime it's angled up, you want to increase your luck, but it's going to give you, it's giving you some issues. And if I was just to draw a nice little, this is a new computer, so I'm struggling with it right now. Hold on. Let's see if I can do that again. Trend line here. There we go. We're hitting a nice little support area. I mean, almost to the, look at this. Look at this. This is like perfect. Hits this trend line, and we're literally hitting this trend line. Okay. Now, HIMS also they're involved in GLP-1 drugs. Now, GLP-1 drug is the most popular drug on the planet right now. They're involved in it. Eli Lilly is involved in it. Novo Nordisk is involved in it. They're, depending on the company, there's a way that you inject it versus pills. I don't know who has the pills or the oral version of it, but there's a lot of changes that's happening. And I guess you want to talk to your physicians or anybody that's in that field or your chat GPT if you want to talk about, which one is more beneficial, I guess. If you're interested in a company like this, it's very, very speculative. It's down 7% today. Okay. Anytime I see something like that, I always go to my chat GPT, and I simply ask it, why is HIMS down so much today? Like, stop asking thousandaires, stop asking people in the room these questions about these stocks, right? So, what I like about my GPT is going to pull up a chart so you can at least pull up the 1 year chart. It's bullish. You pull up a 5 year chart, it's bullish. So, this is a very bullish company that's just getting slammed right now, right? But let's see what it says, right? It says the key reasons for the drop. There was mixed Q3 results and narrow guidance. Him and hers reported strong revenue growth, but the earnings missed expectations. And the company narrowed its 2025 revenue guidance, right? The new product launch overshadowed by execution risk and engagement concerns, regulatory, legal, competitive risks in core segments, sector and market flow headwinds, right? So what does all this mean? Putting it all together, although Hims has a strong growth story, which we just pretty much saw, right? We looked at the week chart, we looked at the day chart. That's the fundamentals. It has good revenue growth, ambitious product expansion. The market is focusing on the risk, earnings miss, narrow guidance, engagement drop off, regulatory competition risk, and those concerns are weighing hard, on the positives for now, right? And that's why it's under pressure today, right? So, it's still telling you that, they might have missed earnings, right? But it still has growth potential. So if you're going to buy a high flyer like this, guys, I always tell people stocks like this always drop. Remember what I told you in my TikTok session just earlier? Any stock that within the last year grows at 100%. Guys, this stock grew 166% from December to February. I don't care what stock you're looking at. If a stock doubles in price, especially double and a half in a year, most definitely within the next year, that stock is probably going to drop 50% minimum. And it's not if it's going to happen, guys, it's when. So this sell off in this stock is simply because it ran really hard. So if I was buying this stock, if I had to analyze this stock in 10 or 15 seconds, I would have saw the highs. I would have saw the lows at 25. I would have saw that it went to $75. I would have said, dang, it ran 200% return. I ain't buying this stock until it gets to $36 a share. I would have put an alert at 36 and I would have been gone for a whole year. Y'all see how I did that in 10 or 15 seconds? You guys out here still studying it for 2, 3, 4 hours, looking at the earnings reports. It's simple math. In just about every stock that's out there, if it's going to double in price in 1 year, it stair steps up. You guys think that things go up in a straight line and down in a straight line, and that when it goes up that much, if it goes down in value, it's because something is wrong with the company. No, it's not. This is just what bullish companies do. The companies that make you rich, this is what they do. You just got to understand the patterns. The patterns are if it goes up 100%, you buy it 50%. Then you buy it again, and then it grows another 2 or 300%. And then it gets cut in half again. And then it grows 2 or 300%. Then it gets cut in half. You have to expect that this is going to happen. 73, I literally would have been like, oh, $36, bye. Where are we at today? $36. Y'all see how quickly I was able to do that? Okay. You guys got to be able to pick it up and figure that out quickly and not waste your time in stocks when they start going down and be in stocks when they start going up. When this bad boy starts going back up, I can already tell you what the percentage is going to be. When a stock gets cut in half, guys, even if it goes back to its all-time highs, you just made another 100%. The same move here you would have made from here to here. Simple math. Take the mental part out of it and start looking at things like math. Okay? And then it makes a lot of sense then. You got to mix the fundamentals with the technicals, right? And then you got to use a little bit of math, okay? Because you're on the investor side of it. You're not, so many of you focus so much on the earnings and how much they make per this and their PE ratio. And that's all great, right? You want everything to be great to give the investors the confidence to put money into the stock. I get that. But when it starts to move like this and it doubles or triples in price, guys, and the market cap starts to get to obscene numbers and it becomes the biggest company in its space, these are the things that you guys don't know. Joel, how do I know when to sell a company? Well, if the regular market cap of something of this caliber is like 50 billion and it's now sitting at like 200 billion, you know it's overextended. You know it's going to sell off 50%. So sell some of it and then wait until it gets cut in half and then reinvest right back into the company and then make another 100% return again. That's how you get to $1 million quickly. It doubles in price or triples in price. Take that money out, wait till it gets cut in half, reinvest the whole thing again, and then let it run another 100 or 200%. That's how you take 1,000 to 1 million quickly in 10 trades. Okay. All right. Hope you guys are learning. Hope I made sense out of that. All right. I spent a lot of time there. I got 10 minutes to get to the rest of these questions. Which of your courses to focus on for anyone who wants to go faster? Well, it depends on what faster means. See, I got to teach you guys, and I didn't mean to get on you, Get Fit. I got to teach you guys the right questions to ask. Because what's fast for you might be slow for somebody else. We were not all born with the same mental capacity and equity and, the way that we move. And I'm learning that as a consultant. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different speed. So if you wanted to go faster than the 30 days, if you wanted to be intermediate to advanced, then it depends on what you're trying to do. I don't know if you're trying to swing trade. I don't know if you're trying to day trade. I don't know if it's just the education part. But, you can watch just about all of my videos and I'm going to implement a lot of this stuff. Stock Party is a great one. If you want to start learning options, buy the Options Party. If you want to be a little bit more advanced than that, I want you to take my Advanced Technicals course. All right. And then it's specific. If you go to my PayHip and you see those different videos, it's going to give you an explanation on all the different things that I offer. And if the light bulb goes off, then message me and then I'll let you know if you're on the right path. But that's a very good question, Get Fit. I didn't mean to uh anyway, it was a great question. All right, here we go. Palantir, boy. I remember when y'all didn't know what Palantir was till I brought it to everybody's attention. And I made a whole bunch of money for a whole bunch of people, including my friend, pastor, and golfer friend. I got pastors investing in Palantir. They're like, Joel, I'm so happy you're doing the Lord's work. And you done made me a whole bunch of money in Palantir. All right, look, Palantir is in the stratosphere. Now, why were people buying Palantir? Palantir is the cybersecurity of it's a cybersecurity company that has a government contract. That means they have a contract with the government to run their cybersecurity. Y'all know how crazy that is? They getting that government money. You know your friends and family that work for the government, like they are taken care of. Well, Palantir has a contract with the government. So if the government ever fired them, you better sell this stock as quickly as you can because that's where all their money coming from. Now they do have other contracts with other companies, but the government contract is a huge one. This is a high flyer, guys. It went from $44 in 2024 to $200. I mean, you made a 400% return. I still ain't seen my checks in the mail yet for making y'all all this money. So would I buy it way up here? Hit H to the nah. Like Whitney Houston would have said, hell to the nah. I'm not gonna buy it way up here. It hit its all-time highs last week. Y'all be doing that. Y'all be doing that craziness, buying stuff at the all-time. Just hit its all-time highs last week, and y'all want to get in it now. Now we've been talking about this stock since last year. Now you want to buy it. Not you, Steven. I gotta always make sure y'all know that I ain't beating y'all up, right? So, what did I say about stocks like this? A stock that moves this much in this amount of time, it's not if, guys, it's when it drops 50%. I can already tell you where I'm gonna buy it at. It's 207. I ain't even thinking about this stock unless it gets to 104. Period. Now, if we break to a new high and we go to 220 or 300, then that 104 becomes 150 or 160, whatever the half mark is from the highs. If y'all don't believe that happens, look at what happened back in 2025, which was this year, just in February. Just in February, guys, Palantir was a $120 stock. Let's just guess where it went down to. I had a couple of people saying BS in my they didn't know any better. They thought I was just like any other trader or investor. They had no idea that this was Joel speaking. Palantir hit 122. I just be doing math. Y'all be up all night with these study groups, studying for about 4, 5 hours, being trying to invite me to come over. And I'm like, why? I don't need to come over. Can y'all do math? You got a calculator. I'm the guy that just comes in and answers all the questions in like 5 minutes. Joe, where should you buy Palantir? Oh, 125 divided by 260. Bam. Huh? Why you pick 60? Why 60? Where the support level is here and the resistance is because it's half. It ran to 120, probably coming down to 60. It dropped to 66. So it didn't quite drop to the price I wanted to, but it gave you it went into the vicinity, 50% return. Because stocks like this, when they run like this, guys, it's not if they gonna drop, it's when. Palantir is gonna drop 50%, and everybody's gonna think the world's coming to an end. Oh my God, this is it. Palantir's going to zero. Zero. There's not gonna be any cybersecurity for the government, and we're gonna get nuked. It's just math. All right. When we hit when we hit 188 here, in like 1 week, we ran all the way down to 140, which gave you guys another chance to get in. So it looks like it's slowing up a little bit. Okay. So if you're in Palantir, guys, I've already shedded like 70% of my Palantir investment, waiting for it to come down in price. Now I still got a little piece in it making some money, right? But it's down what, 7% right now. If you want to buy it here, I think it's a little early because I mean, when it sells off, even this sell off here, even this sell off here that just happened in August. In August, when it fell in price, it dropped about 27%. So if the highs was at 207, even if I was to go down to 27%, that's gonna put you in the 150 range. Y'all still $30 away from where this stock is probably going to. Could it do a fake out and keep going up in price? Yeah, I'm talking to those investors that want to get in a stock and want to get a little bit of equity in it. Joel ain't buying a stock like this unless it's dropping 25% minimum. And if it drops 50%, sweet. If that volatility index is above 30, I'm buying. I'll be right back in Palantir. Why? Because the charts are telling you that money is still flowing into it. Look at that 200-day moving average. Look at this. Look at this. While you sitting there having study sessions, the real traders like myself know to buy it when it gets close to this 200-day moving average. Look at this. Look at this, guys. To almost to the penny. Almost to the penny. To the 200-day moving average. Joel, nobody's ever shown me this before. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the 200-day moving average is the most used indicator on the planet. How the heck do you not know about it? Because you're talking to the wrong people and you got the wrong person educating you. Look at this. It gave you It gave you 1 day to buy it. 1 day on August the 5th, we hit the 200-day moving average. And for 1 day, if you missed it, you missed a move from $21 to 172. Lord have mercy. Joe, the stock market is so hard. All right, let's look at another one. All right. Nikki Merrick said, what do you think about APLD, Applied Digital? All right, so I loved Applied Digital, guys, um and this got a big move to the downside. All right. So what do we say about stocks that move like this? What's the rule, guys? Stocks that move 100% in 1 year is gonna drop 50% minimum in the next year. Is this that move? I don't know. It went from $13. What's the rule? What's the what would Joe do method? I don't care what stock it is. If that bad boy runs from $13 to 40, which was a 210% return, you better not buy this stock unless it's $20.10 or less. Period. Period. Where are we at now? We hit 2262. Now, it don't have to be exact. Some of you guys are so anal. It's got to be 20.1 or less or else. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, look, if you really trying to buy something like this and you see that it's bullish and you see that it's already cut in half, get a quarter position expecting it to maybe go down to 13. More than likely, you'll buy it and then that bad boy just keeps going up. Now, this is something that I want to know, and I got to get out of here soon, guys. I got to go spend quality time. I got to stay Murray. All right. Let's go to ChatGPT. Let's ask if NVIDIA is still invested. Is NVIDIA still invested in Applied Digital? Because this is the reason why I bought it in the first place. I hope the answer is not no. Y'all see this? Now, if the largest company on this earth, because I know y'all think y'all smarter than the geniuses at the top. If the smartest company, the biggest, largest AI revolution company on earth is buying this stock and still invested in it, do you think they in the business of losing money? This says, yes, according to the filings and media reports, NVIDIA does own a stake in Applied Digital. Here are the details. In September of 2024, NVIDIA bought 7.72 million shares of Applied Digital. Y'all know this is the reason why I came into the room and told y'all you need to be buying Applied Digital. Joe, you don't know what you're talking about. All right. Then I make all my money. Joe, you just be showing off. How am I supposed to present this to y'all then? Excuse me, sir, but did you know that NVIDIA is buying Applied Digital? I think it's in your best interest to maybe invest a little bit of funds in it. And then you and I can make money together. And then when I make the money, sir, did you make the mistake of not investing in Applied Digital? I really feel sorry that you weren't able to do it. It had to be for some odd reason. But I want to show you something here. This is a receipt of a couple of purchases that I made. And it looks that I'm profitable at this particular time. It looks like about 60 to 70%. You should continue to buy this stock. All right. It's bullish. 200 week angled up, day chart angled up. What time is it? 8:30. I'm supposed to be out of here. All right. So I'm sorry if I didn't get to everybody's question. I'm sorry. I got to get out of here today. But that's a nice little gem. All right. We're gonna end it with Applied Digital. Right? Should you buy it? Nah. It's almost 50% off. If you're gonna buy something like, look, guys, if I'm gonna be wrong, this is where I'm gonna buy it. If I'm gonna be wrong, this is how you're wrong in a stock. right? Nvidia owns it. It's down 50%. The 200 day is angled up. The 200 week is angled up. It's pulled back. High flyers like this drop 50%. You're putting yourself in positions to win. It does not necessarily mean that you're going to win. But if you do this consistently over and over and over again, I promise you guys the market is going to be a very easy cash cow for you to pull from. Okay. And I'm showing you guys some simple, basic little tricks. I can sound condescending or mean or whatever words you guys use uh, to represent the way that I do these lives, but y'all know I do it for strictly entertainment, just to keep you guys' attention, so it won't be so boring when you guys are learning this. I want any and everybody to make money. Everybody knows that I don't care if I see you on the street. If you came to me and asked me a question about the market, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about it and how I would go about it, because I literally want everybody to do well in this game. I want you guys to see it the same way I see it. I don't want you to necessarily trade or invest the same way that I'm investing, but I at least want you guys to see it through the easy eyes, right? Start hitting the easy button, knowing how to approach it without using all of that brain power. Because a lot of the times we're so smart, we end up making mistakes in the market. So I'm coming to you guys from Decatur, where it's greater. I'll see you guys again. I'm gonna try to give you guys a live on Thursdays, right? Because that's where I started. But find me on TikTok. I'll go live every night at 6 o'clock p.m. like clockwork. Every night, 6 o'clock p.m. for an hour. It is going slow for some people, but we're on day 13. I promise you, in about a week or two, it's gonna go so fast. You're gonna be like, Joel, can you slow down? Because I'm trying to prepare everybody for the Millionaire Challenge that starts January 1st. So enjoy the rest of your night. If you haven't heard from me, happy Friday. For those veterans that I didn't give any love to, happy belated Veterans Day. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.